When I was about 14, I was staying up way too late on the computer. It was about 2 in the morning, and everyone else was asleep. I got thirsty and wandered down the hallway to get a drink. I didn't bother to turn on any lights since there was a nightlight in the hallway, and there was enough light to get by. I'm walking back to the bedroom when I get this weird feeling like someone is watching me, and turn around. There was this big white mist just floating right behind me. I immediately turned around and went back into the safe bright room. The thing is, there were no windows facing that hallway, and I hadn't passed the nightlight yet, so it definitely wasn't a trick of the light. All the doors leading to the hallway were also closed. The first time I used an Ouija board, I was about 6 or 7, and I was with my mom and older sister, who was about 15 at the time. Our family had just moved to a new house, much bigger and much older than the one we lived in previously. That night, me, my mother, and my sister were eating pizza on the living room floor since we didn't have all of the furniture set up yet, and we put on a fire to ease the chill of the fall air. After dinner, my sister pushed my mom to let us play with their old Ouija board. As we were using it, a box in the living room that had some books in it literally flew across the room. Shortly after that, the fire inexplicably went out, and my mother was so shaken that she took us to our grandmother's house to spend the night. When I was 7, I suddenly awoke in the middle of the night to a young child kneeling near my bed praying. At first I thought it was my younger brother, so I asked him what he was doing. After I asked, he slowly looked at me and stood up and started running away. So I hopped out of bed and followed him down my stairs and out my front door. We had a long driveway, and I followed him all the way to the end, and then he simply vanished. I went back to my room and nothing like that has happened since. When I was 16, I was riding horses with my friend in the field beside her house. The horse threw me and I hit my head hard. The next thing I know, I'm on my back in incredible pain staring up at my friend, who is frantically screaming at me. Dazed, my gaze shifted and then refocused on her friend behind her, a tall, thin man wearing a black suit and an old-fashioned, wide-brimmed hat. He was staring unblinking into my eyes over my friend's shoulder. Days later, she came to visit me in the hospital, and I asked her about the man I'd seen. I thought it was the new boyfriend she'd recently told me about. She told me there was no one there but me and her. I was visiting my dad last summer. His home was in the countryside. It is a very quiet and lovely place in the morning but sometimes scary at the night. At that night, I reached my dad's place and I was tired, so I was trying to fall asleep when suddenly, I felt a hand grab my ankle. I kicked furiously at whatever was grabbing me, jumped out of bed, and screamed. There was nothing there. My dad came running into the room and found me sitting on the floor, facing the bed. He asked me what was wrong and didn't believe me when I said nothing, that I thought something grabbed me, and even checked the closet. I immediately felt embarrassed, but it felt so real. I've never had something like that happen before or since. This happened when I was just about 8 years old. I, my mom, dad, and big brother lived in a really small apartment that had 2 rooms. When you enter our room, you could just see the kitchen and there's a doorway on the left which is our bedroom. One day, mom and dad were not at home, so I and my brother were playing in the room and I got my slipper stuck under the bed. I can't seem to get it since there's only a 2-inch gap under the bed. Suddenly, I don't know what got into me, but I started chanting something like "Slipper, get out now," over and over again. Then I got this feeling of dread and I got scared, so I ran away and my brother got scared too and he also ran away. After a few minutes, I sneaked to the bedroom and found my slipper a foot away from the bed. I ran inside to get it and got out as fast as I can. I don't know how it could have happened. Until a few years ago, I still had a flip phone. One day, I got a random call, asking for a girl named Sarah. I told them they had the wrong number, and they hung up. For the next few months, I would get these calls asking for Sarah about once or twice a week, coming from different numbers and different sounding people. Sometimes, these calls came at 3 in the morning. One day, I got a call and, like usual, I said, I didn't know Sarah. After they hung up, I went to my contacts and hit redial. The answering machine said that number did not exist. I went back through my call history, trying to call some other people that had called me with the same result, but the answering machine always told me the number did not exist. Every time I would get these calls, I would redial the number and still got the machine. I googled the numbers, but all I learned was that they were coming from North Dakota, Montana, and everywhere in the Midwest. The next time I got a call asking for Sarah, I said, "Oh yeah, she is right here," and the other person on the other end said, "No she isn't," and hung up. Things started getting more weird when I started getting calls from unknown numbers calling me. Whoever or whatever on the other end hung up the second I said hello. Once I got a call where they didn't hang up after I said hello, and I could hear someone was on the other end, just listening, but they didn't say anything. Something is uneasy about it. Thanks for listening to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed the horror stories. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get notified of my upcoming videos. So, see you all in another video.